Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Velvet Lounge Life. Yes, I am redoing our business cards because we are going to be going to a conference soon. It'll be, I believe, I've been invited to this conference, I'm going to say maybe 7 or 8 times, and I've gone 3. Partially because of timing, and this time it looks like the time will be correct. So I am kind of excited because it's always fun, super fun. So, yep, redoing the old business cards, going to be promoting our YouTube channel. So please give us a thumbs up. Some exciting things, I promise you, are coming. We are incredibly busy. It always starts around, I would say, March, and we keep on marching on until about October, sometimes the beginning of November, which is awesome because this is what happens. One of the projects I was working on today, I was going actually back and forth between 2, and normally I don't do that, but demand. We're so in demand. I can't continue to say no to every project, but I am very, very picky about the projects that we are willing to work on. And so today's project, what happened is this. We ended up with what I consider to be anyway a small amount of sterling silver, some 14 karat gold. All of this has been tested and also marked with a maker's mark and the 14 karat gold stamp. And then, of course, our favorite, we always find silver. Like, it seems to never fail that we find silver. There's all sorts of silver things. Look at this large, like, necklace pendant. Let me see if I can give you a comparison for size. First of all, it's super heavy. Like, I wouldn't necessarily wear this myself. It's a dangler, which all of the parts move, all 5 pieces. And just to put the pen in there so you can see how large it is. That's a large pendant. It's pretty cool, but it's just not my vibe. And as you know, 90% of people who actually know me know that I wear very little. I'm not really a jewelry person. I love brooches. Brooches are my thing. And scarves are my thing, but it is what it is. So what else do we have here? Some sugar tongs, which no one uses anymore because these were used when people actually had sugar cubes for their coffee, tea, whatever. But now no one uses sugar cubes. I don't even know if they make them anymore. And then I have 2 designer watches. Both of them are gold filled. This one, actually, the face is stainless steel, but the band is gold filled. This one is gold filled for the face and the casing, but the band is actually stainless steel. This is gold. These are gold filled items as well, and some are 1/20th, 14 karat gold. And the gold fill is also 14 karat. So the reason I'm telling you that is because we're going to have a quick precious metals lesson today. The lesson is this. Okay, so unfortunately, and you have to get over it, most people who are buying this stuff are going to buy it for scrap. That's what they're going to do with it. It is what it is. If you're willing to sell it, you really can't have any voice on like what someone does with it. The reason I'm saying that is, today when I was asked a question, I was like, yeah, the majority of this gets scrapped. And someone was like, oh my God, that's a shame. And they were talking about this piece when we were discussing. And they were like, that's a shame, and this handle moves. They're like, these items are so beautiful, blah, 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 whatever. The issue, there's no issue with the statement because it's true. Look at this like handle. I can't imagine what this cost when it was brand new. The issue is, times have changed. Tastes have changed considerably. I couldn't even tell you how much. And I'm talking about like just over the last 8 to 10 years. Whereas previously, something like this, you could probably get a couple to a few $100s for. Now, someone is just going to buy it for scrap metal. And, thankfully, this one does not have a weighted bottom. So, it'll be from $0, the value for scrap. These, however, are weighted. They're weighted where the candles go up here and as well as in the base. So, some concession has to be made for that, or you can go through the labor of removing the cement that's inside or the plaster to get a pure silver weight. So, some of the things that I consider before doing such labor, and you also have to think if you're going to sell these as, as a beautiful scalloped handled compote, and this is sort of an, I think, Art Nouveau design. It does have the maker's name on the bottom. It also, of course, has the silver marks on the bottom. Then, you will also have to clean these items until they're sparkling. Like you can't have any gunk on them at all. So by the time you take into consideration your labor, you probably were better off selling them, but you can also put in your description, scrap or usable. They're totally utilitarian items. Nothing wrong with using them. It's just that if you're going to sell them as is, then you, of course, are most likely going to get the scrap value. And as I was saying, with this weighted silver, you have two options. One is to sell them exactly as they are. The other one is to remove the plaster or the concrete that they use to weigh them down. And the reason that they did that is so that they're candle holders. Like if they fell over, that could be a disaster, like your whole house burning down, wax ruining stuff, whatever. Just imagine you're at a dinner party. That would be super embarrassing. So, there's a perfectly awesome reason for, weighting these. They should be weighted, which is a good thing. But for resale purposes, for some people, it can be a pain. I have seen people go through the labor of cleaning these until they were sparkling, only to simply receive the scrap value. So it's just something to keep in mind. However, if you have pieces that are by famous makers, then you obviously want to sell them as that type of item. These are, and when I say famous makers, I'm thinking, and I'm just going to use the most common one in the world. If they're in line with Tiffany or better, then those are items that you should be selling as they are. Clean them up, it's worth it, and sell them as they are for a premium price. But a lot of these things were made, and silver at one point, was of course it's always been a good metal, but it wasn't a metal that was as valued maybe as it is today, because we even used it for coins, if you think about that. And so I'm saying use silver for coins for a long time. Gold being used as an everyday coinage obviously went out of fashion a long, long time ago because of the value of gold and how hard it was to get. So like I'm saying, one of the things I'm trying to say here is simply look at what you have. Think about the labor. Think about whether it's worth it to go through extra efforts. And if it is, do it without hesitation. But if it isn't, don't feel bad. Silver is a huge seller for us. We sell it often. We sell a lot of it. And so we know basically how to do this. So one of the other things to consider when you're selling silver or gold or platinum, which we sell all three, is, for example, this butter. I consider these to be like butter servers, or if you had like cream cheese or something like that, you could use something like this, as a server. The thing is with this, the blade is stainless steel, which I think you can read that. Yep, it says stainless in big letters. And as you can see, which is really small, and let me zoom in a little bit. There you go. On the collar, it indicates that the rest of this is sterling. Okay, the rest is sterling, but inside there's some weight. So, when you're pricing your items, you have to consider that. And we scrap these all the time. So, there's another scrappable item. We also have, just a sterling silver necklace chain, another sterling silver necklace chain with a pendant. This watch that has a sterling silver band. And this one is it's marked 925. And 925 items are definitely worthy of being tested, regardless of the fact that it has the American silver mark on it. You should still test those items because a lot of them have been faked out of Italy, out of China, and out of Thailand. Those are like the three major producers of fake sterling silver that is stealing and using our American 925 silver mark. So if you don't want to be embarrassed, that is what I would do. Test it. One of the quick tests that you can do, and this is simply a quick rudimentary test, is use a magnet. If it magnifies, meaning if it sticks to your magnet at all, even a little bit, if it moves when you run the magnet by it, it is not real silver. It might have a little bit of silver in it, but it's not solid silver, which is the 925 means that, this item is 925 parts silver. So the the 0.75 of it is not. So you just want to make sure that the way that you test is using acids. So yes, actual acids. You have to special order them, and they are caustic and they can injure people, pets, your furniture, whatever it touches. So make sure you read any instructions, know what you're doing, make sure your area is prepared, you are protected before you start using acids. I've been using them for a very long time. I actually wear a mask because they can give off a little bit of a gas sometimes. So just know what you're doing if you do have to go that far. This is 14 karat gold. One of the areas where people commonly miss gold is with earrings. This part of the earring is gold. It's even marked 14 karat. I don't know if you can see the mark. It's really small. There it is. And I don't know if it's legible to you, but it's very small. It's right there. I looked at it with my loupe. But what was dangling from it was not 14 karat gold. Now, sometimes that happens because the person is allergic to non-precious metals. Like I can't wear things made with nickel or any fake metal. I have to wear actual gold, silver, or platinum. But what dangles from it does not have to be a precious metal. So you want to always check your earrings to see if the part that hangs from your ear, if that is precious or if it's not precious. So you can see we have this 14 karat gold ring here. It's just a plain wedding band necklace. There's actually two necklaces. One is thin, one is this fancy design. There's a pendant. There's a little teeny tiny pendant there. And also there's other sterling silver. We have this spoon. And something to be aware about spoons is usually, you know, sometimes people find these spoons and they are dirty. And because they're dirty, they don't look at them. But you should look at them because if it's marked sterling, which I can't believe I can't focus any better than what I am. Apologies for that. But this is marked sterling silver. Then obviously this is not just a regular throwaway spoon. This is the same deal as the other little serving piece. It says stainless here, but the sterling mark on this one is on the side. And that's something that I notice that people miss as well, is you should always look at this on the sides of your serving pieces, because, and I know some of these marks, I mean, these things are so dirty that without you guys being here in person, you probably are not going to get a good view of this. So apologies for that. But you know, most items are marked on the back or on the front. Some items, oh, there you go, you can see it better, are marked on the side. So I actually have picked up lots of items that people have missed because they did not look at the side of the item. So this actually tells you sterling handle. So, I mean, it does clearly say stainless on the blade, but, you know, that maker awesome because they're making sure that their buyers know exactly what they're getting. And then a quick lesson on items that are gold filled, electroplated gold. Some of them are like 1/20th gold. There's other, you know, gold markings that are like that. So these items are not like, these are solid 14 karat, you know, gold. These items are 14 karat, but they're gold plated, etc. That, like, it just runs a gamut. There's like 4 or 5 marks that are common here in the United States. So what I do with these items is I actually remove the parts that are partially gold. And when I have enough of them, I will actually weigh them and see if I have enough to sell. So what I do to come up with a price for these items is, and I sell them in a lot. So I will have like 20, 30 items I'm selling in one massive lot. So I would never, unless it was, let's say that this pen was by Van Cleves. I mean, they would make them in solid gold or silver, never plated or whatever, or 1/20th. But if it was an incredibly special name, then I would sell this as a standalone item. But if it's a more common name, or, you know, nothing that's really special, then, or if it's damaged, then I would put it with my 20 to 30 items, weigh them out, go online, look at comparables by weight. So if you have, let's say, 125 grams, then go out there and see what 125 grams of gold-filled jewelry or gold-filled items sell for, and price yours accordingly. I probably would price mine a little bit lower, just, you know, without taking that nosedive to the bottom. When I say a little bit lower, I'm talking between $5 and $10. So really, it's probably the cost of shipping. You know, I know there's some people out there who are like, why not do free shipping? Why should I do free shipping? If I do that and I add the price into my listing price, then I am going to pay higher fees. But if I, you know, take out what it costs to ship, charge the shipping, then do the listing for whatever price I came up with minus the shipping, then I'm going to pay lower fees, because you do pay a fee on shipping, but it's less than the fee that you pay on listing the item or selling the item. So you really want to consider a lot of different things if you are going to be selling precious or semi-precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum are really, the grand dames. There are, I think there's one other precious metal that I think I've only come in contact with once through a smelter. And, the other thing is, if you are going to work with an organization, you're not going to sell these to the public, then something you need to consider is how much you are going to be paid. So that means you should be dealing with a smelter, and you should be dealing with them directly, not through one of those put your stuff in an envelope and mail it to us scams. Notice how you don't see those on television anymore, because they were scams from the beginning. And, there's a lot of sucker DJs out there. And unfortunately, those companies, made probably millions, if not billions of dollars, because people just didn't do the homework, did not do the research. So my thoughts are, you sell directly yourself to a smelter. If you do that, make sure that they're paying you 95% of the market value for scrap gold, silver, or platinum. To find what those rates are every single day, multiple times a day, those rates are updated because they run in line with the stock market. And so you are able to go out online, and there are a lot of reputable organizations that put the information out there, such as, I don't know, NASDAQ. And you can, but there's other organizations you can use as well. And you'll be able to know exactly how much any of those precious metals are selling for by the ounce or by the gram. They do have other measures, for those that may be from foreign countries. And you will know to the penny, how much gold, silver, platinum, etc. is selling for. And then you are able to do the math. And you should know, if you go through a smelter, you should be getting paid at least 95%. And I'll say as low as 93%. So if you're not being paid 93% or more, then you need to go find a different organization. There are tons of them that are willing to help you out. We actually have a deal where we are paid 97% of whatever the market is. And also know, as I stated, this runs in line with the stock market, that the prices can go up and they can go down every single day or multiple times a day. So if you're looking, at the economy, recessions and such, I am going to do a video about that. Then you will know when the best time is to sell. Or do you hold on to this stuff? You have two options. You don't have to get rid of your stuff. So that's all I have for today. I hope you guys found this useful. I considered doing a video on silver hallmarks, because obviously there are the European hallmarks. We deal in a lot of that stuff, as well as the American stuff. So we deal foreign and domestic. And of course there are different gold marks as well, and platinum marks. So if that's something that you're interested in, then please leave a comment down below. It's something that I would probably end up getting to in the next few months, because I have a lot of content that I need to get out to you guys. And yes, I picked up this little crew today as well. They were kind of thrown in with a deal. So I was like, sure, awesome, taking it. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Velvet Lounge. And I can't wait to show you our new business cards after they are produced and delivered. And be well. Remember, health is wealth.